Today we're going to be talking about reheating food in a bamboo steamer. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Do-do-do, do-do-do, vegan prepper. Do-do-do, do-do-do, vegan prepper. I'm going to be heating up a little bit of leftovers from last night's dinner for my boys for their lunch. And so we have a chana masala and a white rice and quinoa mix that I just made in the Instant Pot last night. And so basically, all I'm going to do is reheat using my steamer, almost like most people probably use their microwaves, but I just love heating this way. Everything turns out absolutely delicious. It's better than having to heat up your whole oven to reheat everything if you don't have a microwave. And let's go ahead and just sort of talk briefly about the way that I do it. I used to use a plate until one time I actually cracked one of my glass plates because it had a chip, and I believe there was a crack running through the whole plate. And so since then I have switched to these plates that I got at my, at my local Asian market. And so basically these are the exact right size. I just sort of measured the plate, like eyeballed it against the steamers when I was there, and purchased the one that looked like it was the exact right size. And that is basically exactly what worked. And so these plates are fantastic. They hold about 4 cups of food. And so yeah, I just found myself some stainless steel plates that fit really well right in here. And then I can heat things up like rice and leftover, curry type wet dishes. So it doesn't have to be only the kind of dry stuff that would be able to fit in here, say on a parchment sheet or on like cabbage leaves. And so I will also show you reheating some food using it more traditionally, but right now we're just talking about the leftovers. So let me go ahead and get these into there and I'll show you my setup on the stove. All right, so portions are in here. And so basically I already have a little pan on the stove with some boiling water. It's just been boiling while I've been waiting. My new favorite way to do this is to actually do it on top of my little cast iron lid from my Dutch oven. So I do have a cast iron Dutch oven where the lid itself is a skillet, and that's what I'm using here. You just need something that's going to fit the steamer itself. All right, so typically it just takes maybe 5-ish minutes on each side. I just like to make sure that it's very thoroughly heated. And the kind of wonderful thing about it too is because it's steaming, again, nothing will dry out, and so everything will be moist and beautiful. So this is the perfect reheating method for anything that you would like to retain moisture. So leftover pasta dishes, right? Like leftover lasagna, leftover rice dishes, things that normally dry out if you try to reheat them in the oven or even the microwave, right? Things that you would normally be adding a little bit of water to try to keep it wet. When you're reheating, this method is perfect. You don't have to do any of that because it's happening for you as it cooks. And so basically I have set a timer for 5 minutes. I will be back to switch these and I'll show you the process for doing that. I think it's relatively self-explanatory, but just in case, we'll go ahead and show you exactly how I do it. All right, so now it's ready to go ahead and do the switch. So basically, this will be cool to the touch, but the steam is absolutely not. So at any second, steam can escape from any place. And so I've learned you just have to do this with oven mitts. And so basically what I like to do is I take the entire thing off. And then that also allows me to check the water level and make sure that there's still water, and there always is. And so I will take then only the top and put that back on because we're switching the position. And I'll stick the lid that was on the bottom, and then I'll take the bottom and put the bottom back on, and this smells incredible. And now let it sit for another 4 or 5 minutes. All right, it is finished. Everything is piping hot. And so I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, and I will show you how I get these out once they're super piping hot. All right, so to get these out while it's piping hot, I take a flat pot holder and I'll sort of tilt it to one side, and then with my hand underneath it, I use the edge and just sort of push it under, and then this is what I get. And so that is ready to go now, and then I will go ahead and do the same thing with this one. and my steamer is still basically totally clean. Like there was nothing touching it, but I'm actually also going to go ahead and cook something else in it now too. Right, now I'm going to go ahead and cook up a pound of broccoli and some potato wedges. And when I say potato wedges, I mean literally just wedges of potato. I'm not talking about like French fries. So obviously you couldn't really do French fries on a steamer. So I'm going to go ahead and dump my broccoli. I'm using a pound of frozen broccoli. And so what I like to do, because there's invariably like tiny pieces of broccoli, I like to put it in when the steamer is already on the pot that I'm using for the actual steaming. I did actually also add additional water because the water wasn't out, but it was, you know, maybe only about a half an inch in the bottom of the pan. I like for it to be a bit more like an inch, inch and a half of water in the pan. And so, yeah, here we are. The steam is already getting kind of too hot to touch. I'm going to get this on here just as one layer for now. I'm going to give this a good 4 or 5 minutes of cooking. It's not enough to fully cook the broccoli, but I want the broccoli to get a head start because my potato wedges are already cooked. They only need to be reheated. So I don't need them to cook as long as the broccoli. So I'm gonna give that a few minutes of a head start. All right, I just moved the broccoli off and you can see that some broccoli got into the water, as it always does. And so I'm just going to go ahead and set my little cut potato wedges on here. These are a little weird. Somebody ate only half a potato last night, and so so these are pre-cooked. I think I already mentioned that, but just in case I didn't, they are pre-cooked. Somebody only ate half a potato, so that's why that one's a little weird. But I like to cook them kind of like this, and then put them into meals or, you know, do whatever with them. But now I will go ahead and put the broccoli back on top and let it finish out its cooking. It doesn't need very long. And then once it's on top, it will cook a little less. Whatever's on top is cooking less than what's on bottom, which of course makes sense. But yeah, the more you do this, the more intuitive it gets. And I just find myself truly, truly loving cooking with my steamer. Okay, so now I'm all done with the steamer, and all of that took less than half an hour. It really doesn't take very long in the kitchen at all. And then granted, obviously I was reheating leftovers, so I didn't do any work for that initial food. But yeah, I was able to get that to my boys. And then because they really ate all of that, I just sort of made a very simple kind of starch solution type lunch for myself, just broccoli and potato wedges. And yeah, I am going to go ahead and go enjoy myself. Hopefully you enjoyed that little look at one of the ways that I can quickly prepare lunches, like leftovers and things like that for my family. We don't own a microwave, and so I end up using my steamer very much like a microwave. And I just don't really have any interest in owning one. I'm not necessarily anti-microwave. I know some people have specific reasons. I guess I'm not deeply invested enough in all of that to have done research. For me, it ends up being about the taste of the food. Many years ago, our microwave broke, and we were just saving up money for a new one. And in the meantime, I discovered cooking in my oven and reheating on the stove, although I had not yet discovered the steamer at that time. And all of our reheated food just was tasting so much better than it ever did out of the microwave. And so we just basically forever decided to not get a microwave again because the food just tastes better. And so rediscovering steam cooking for myself, I know that I am not at all even remotely the inventor of steam cooking. Steam cooking is a tradition that has been practiced in Asia. I think specifically in China, they found steam cookers dating back 5000 BC. So this is an art form of cooking that is 7,000 years old at least. And so I know that I am not at all the inventor of this, but I definitely appreciate being able to utilize this ancient style of cooking in kind of a modern way. And I hope that you also enjoyed seeing a few of those techniques of what I did. And then, yeah, if you want to give it a try for yourself, let me know in the comments down below how it goes. I'm really eager to hear. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tuck into my lunch and leave you with that. And as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.